All right, it's been a long time since I've made a video of any kind, but um, I gotta make one now. Um, a bit has changed. I own a new motorcycle, which I'll show you guys before the season's over. It's not here; it's at the house. Um, Triumph has been ridden. Runs and drives good. Has some oil leaks. We're gonna have to weld up part of the case for the gearbox this winter time, which isn't really gonna be that big of a deal. It'll be fine. Um, that oil dry is not for the Triumph. Even though it does leak a little oil, it does not leak that much oil. Fuel tank cracked on the Triumph though, which was interesting. Somewhere along here, I think right there. There was a crack. I'm not sure where exactly, but the paint got damaged. It got under the clear and got damaged, so we're gonna seal that up. But it wasn't leaking, and then it got filled up with fuel again, and then it started leaking, so it happened while I was driving. So we're just going to seal this whole weld right here, and that should help it. And then the Mercedes-Benz, we're just doing a little bit of maintenance. Coolant was low, so we're gonna check for exhaust gases in the coolant. Hopefully we don't have to send the cylinder head out. But I haven't done an oil change on it since I've owned it, so we're doing that. And then this weekend we will be adjusting the valves and replacing the valve cover gasket, which means we will also be modifying the valve cover. There's a little modification you can make to help the valve cover sit tighter down. It's a little bit more flush. And I also want to look at why this washer fluid nozzle does not work. That one does, this one doesn't. So we'll look into that. So yeah, a few things maintenance-wise to do. And we're also going to repair this driver's side CV axle. The boots are ripped and they're leaking. So I have two boot kits to do the inner and outer. This is my new oil setup. This is a 5-gallon bucket of T6 5W40 synthetic, which a lot of people on the forums recommend running in these. I'm also going to get a bucket of just conventional diesel motor oil, which is what I run in all my classic cars. But I have this little barrel pump, which does work. And then I was going to get a bigger pitcher, but they didn't have any at the store. So we just have this little 1-quart guy, which means it'll take 8 of these to fill up that Mercedes. But yeah, just little things on the Mercedes, and doing a general inspection of the car. So inspecting oil cooler lines, radiator hoses, transmission cooler lines, leaks in general, fluid levels, conditions of fluids, stuff like that. Not a whole lot going on. She's starting to rust. I knew it was a little rusty when I got it, but I just punched my finger through that, so that'll have to get fixed eventually. But other than that, the car's been doing good. The valves do need to be adjusted. It's been running a little worse, getting a little bit worse fuel economy. The valves are loose. But hopefully that's also, not a failed head gasket because the coolant was low. So we will definitely be finding out tonight if there's exhaust gas in the coolant. If there is, then, well, oops. That sucks. But fingers crossed it doesn't come to that. But if it does, oh well. If it does, oh well. If it does, I'm gonna have to put it on the back burner. So I gotta finish this truck, at least make progress on this, but maybe just do the head gasket. I'd like to, if I'm gonna do the head gasket, I'd like to just have the whole engine redone. Because, you're taking it apart. Why not? And when we have the valve cover off, we'll be checking the the timing chain as well for tension. Yeah, just stuff like that. Maintenance and inspection and just a checkup. But yeah, that's all we're doing. I'll regroup after I check my exhaust combustion gas tester, and after the oil change and after the general inspection. So yep, that's about it. All right, so oil is changed. Sad news though. It turned green. It's more of a blue-green, but the fluid turned green, which means we have a combustion leak, unfortunately. And that is green, because I'll show you the blue. That's the blue. So that's blue. And that's green. Massive difference. Yeah, there's a massive difference between the blue and the green. So, it's not like bright green. I think if I would have sat there for a long time, it would have turned a brighter shade of green. But that's definitely a color change. That's combustion gas in the exhaust, and this combustion gas is in the coolant. Which means head gasket, unfortunately. Or something is cracked. But on these motors, it's probably a head gasket. So yeah, I have to deal with that at some point. But I mean, it runs good. So I think since the head gas is going to need to be done, I don't think I'll worry about the oil leaks too much, considering they're not that bad. We'll just drive it how it is for now, and yeah, let it exist. And then at some point we're going to pull the motor and just do the whole motor to stock specifications, re-ring it, replace bearings that need replacing, new head gasket, all new gaskets. And maybe that'll get done when we do the 5-speed swap. That'll push it back a little further, and it'll get a little more expensive. But while it's out, that would be nice. If I have to machine the crankshafts, like if I don't want to use an adapter for the pilot bushing, if I could just machine the crankshaft to accept a pilot bushing, that would be really nice. It's just one less component to break. So maybe that'll happen with the 5-speed swap on this thing. But I got many other projects to do first. This is a running and driving car, and it runs and drives very well, despite its issues. But I think we will still put motor mounts and motor shocks in it because it needs that badly. Still put a carrier bearing in it, or a center support bearing, I should say, for the drive shaft. It needs that badly. We're still going to do all the little maintenance things to it because we're going to run it how it is. And yeah, I think that's all we're going to do with this car, is just maintain it until it gets serious mechanical work done to it. Not going to do anything with the power, I don't think. We're just going to leave it stock, except for a refresh for the rebuild. And then we'll put a 5-speed in it. But I got to source a 2-wheel drive AX15 transmission, which will probably be like $400 for a good one. And then a custom drive shaft and all that is going to be like $300. And then the adapter kit for that AX15 is going to be around $900 with shipping. And then rebuild the motor for another $15. So we'll be sticking the $1,500. So we'll be sticking a bit into it. But yeah, it'll be worth it. It's super solid. It's in really good shape. Once that motor gets rebuilt, it'll be even better. So, but yeah, that's where we're at with the Benz. Just wrapping up some maintenance and continue to drive it.